Hello and welcome to the Power Circuit, program proudly brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This is your go-to source for updates on key milestones and performance highlights within the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I am your anchor, Amara Agugesi. And here are the top stories today. TCN Lagos region has organized a sensitization program focused on curbing vandalism and preventing encroachment on power transmission infrastructure. 132-33 kilovolts Dawaki transmission substation enhancing bulk electricity wheeling capacity in Abuja, marking a significant boost for the region's power supply. In our interview segment, you will hear from Engineer Oluwabenga Ajiboye, the Executive Director of Transmission Service Provider TSP at TCN. He shares insights into the procedures for replacing components of transmission lines and maintaining active power transmission infrastructure across Nigeria. The Lagos region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, recently held a sensitization program in Odogunyan, Lagos State. As part of its ongoing public engagement efforts, TCN continues to educate communities about the dangers of vandalizing transmission infrastructure and the risk associated with encroaching on transmission line rights of way. Let's take you through the session.
The event brought together key stakeholders, including community chiefs and members, heads of community development associations, CDAs, youth leaders, representatives from the Nigerian Police Force, civil defense operatives, members of the media, and officials from state companies. Speaking at the sensitization session, the General Manager, Transmission at the Lagos region of TCN, Engineer Mojid Akintola, highlighted the dangers of encroachment of power transmission lines right-of-way, vandalism of these infrastructures, among others.
This kind of infrastructure is meant for the whole community and beyond, because we all know that the power plant is not too far from here. There are 3 power plants that we are getting supply from in this area. We have Egbin, we have Paras, and we have Taupes. All these 3 power plants produce power, and the power they produce, they are not being utilized only in this area. So all these our high tension are what are being used to transport them to the end user. So, but in recent time, we discovered that people are vandalizing all these our towers, and we now felt maybe because we've not sensitized the community, that's why we are having this.
Engineer Akintola also stated that it is economic sabotage to vandalize power transmission assets that serve the nation.
The cost of building a tower from scratch is far cheaper than the cost of repairing it. So, and some of these repairs that we do, they are not budgeted for. Because once it happens, we don't want to leave any community without supply. We just have to look for how to do the repair. The cost of repair is always more than doing afresh.
He therefore appealed to residents and Nigerians to desist from such acts.
And that's the reason why we need to appeal to everybody. We own this infrastructure. Yes, there are some people that are saddled with the responsibility of this infrastructure. Like the civil defense that are here, they are saddled with all national infrastructures, protection of all national infrastructure. But what we are saying is our assets. Is me and you tax they are using to do this repair. So it's better for us to own this infrastructure together so that we know that we need to protect it together. Cost of repair is on the high side. I said we invited all the steel companies around here so that they will be aware that there are so many detectives around. The police, the civil defense, they've been assisting us because we've had series of cases that we've taken to them, and we know the way they attended to us. And we'll still be appealing for more cooperation so that we can move the country forward. So I once more appreciate the police, the baales, and all the CDAs and the Oloye.
A principal manager lines at the Lagos region of TCN, Engineer Sheyi Onabajo, emphasized why Nigerians must avoid disrupting the flow of bulk electricity transmission nationwide.
If we are trying to upgrade for this place to become better in supply, having supply for 24/7, and we are spending ×3 of such money to bring back the old structure, how do we make progress? Please, let us spread this good news and say no to vandalism. Let us talk to our neighbor. Let's encourage the companies around here to stop encouraging all these scavengers, theft, and all those stuff, so that this community will become a better place.
Security officials, including the Nigerian Police Force and operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, spoke further on the ills of vandalism.
So all of us, we need to come together and say no to vandalism. I want to advise all our baales and KBC in attendance and the community at large that if we see something, we say something, and we should say it quickly.
Let me first commend TCN for this. Some religious books will say, where there is no law, there is no sin. And when you make a law, there is need for you to sensitize people so that everybody will know this is the law, this is the consequences for breaking such laws. And that's why this kind of gathering is very, very important. But I want to challenge every one of us that is seated, especially the baales. Like the DPO mentioned, the vigilantes. Every one of us is a security person. And we are very important in what TCN is doing today. And you know why? It will be a very wrong thing for every one of us seated after this program without making effect on what we have discussed here.
The village heads, community representatives, and other stakeholders also made remarks, emphasizing their commitment to securing power transmission infrastructures in their domains.
One, there is strong power line in my area, not small one. But when we are sending them away from the power line, you will see some people, they will go to ministry. Like Bale is disturbing us. What do you do? Can't do anything. They will say they will move the Bale. So that is thief for you. That property they thief there. They know where they sell it. And people buying it from them, we don't know them. It's only themselves they know the place they sell the property to. But you people, with this your lecture, among those people that has been talking here now, you tell us the place they are selling it to. You say one steel company.
TCN, we are very much on ground to help you, provided you help yourself. You have to help yourself and let others help you. God will bless us all. In Jesus' name.
It is a collective responsibility to guide this infrastructure. And this call is coming to each and every one of us to put hands together, to join hands with TCN, to join hands with law enforcement agents to do the right thing, to stand by them and make sure government infrastructures were no more vandalized. Let us say no to vandalism.
The program culminated a united resolve among participants to protect Nigeria's transmission infrastructure, highlighting the collective responsibility in safeguarding national assets. This initiative reflects TCN's commitment to engaging communities and fostering collaboration with security agencies to ensure the security and reliability of the national grid.
Life is bustling in the ever-active Gwarimpa area of Abuja and its surroundings. With a growing population comes an increase in demand for electricity. In response, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) initiated the construction of a 132-33 kV gas-insulated substation equipped with two 60 MVA power transformers to boost bulk electricity supply in the region. Today, you're joining us on site not just to see the completed substation, but to witness how it has been fully operational for over a year, delivering improved power reliability to the area.
Right here at the 132 33 kV gas-insulated substation in Dawaki in Abuja, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) proactively built a substation, and that has actually turned out to be very impactful. Speaking at the substation's premises, the manager, AFD PIU Projects, Engineer Mohammed Saifullahi Zubairu, stated that the completed substation has the capacity to deliver 94 megawatts of electricity through 6 feeders to the distribution load centers of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, which have been operational since 2022. That was barely 3 years after the project started.
So we are currently at the 132 by 33 kV GIS substation at Dawaki, Abuja. This station has a capacity of 2 by 60 MVA and currently has the capacity to radiate about 94 megawatts to the national grid. And then right here you can see the 6 number feeders to be radiated out for consumption by the AEDC, which they have already picked about 3 33 kV feeders already. So we still await the DISCO AEDC to come and pick up the remaining of the 3 33 kV feeders.
The TCN official noted that the substation project was funded through French Development Agency financing program for TCN to build several transmission substations in the Federal Capital Territory under the Abuja Feeding Scheme project.
This substation is part of the 5 substations under the Abuja Feeding Scheme transmission project funded by the French Development Agency. The construction of this substation commenced in 2019 and it was successfully completed and energized in November 2022.
And that is not all. Let's explore the control room together. They are all state-of-the-art and have the best protection equipment to deliver optimum services.
At the moment, we are at the 132 kV control room where we have the panels, control panels, the protection panels, where we have different forms of protection, protecting the transformers in the substation. And what we also have here is the substation automation system. As you can see behind me here, TCN is deploying modern technology to improve service delivery where outdoor equipment in this substation is being controlled and monitored from this system remotely.
Come, have a view of what a gas-insulated substation GIS looks like for the transmission of bulk electricity.
GIS simply means gas insulated switchgear. Due to the constraint of space, TCN had to adopt this technology of gas insulated switchgear as against the conventional air insulated switchgears where it carries and occupies more space. This gas insulated switchgear building, as you can see here, has so many units where the equipment that oversee the transformation of power and delivery of power into the station are seated. You can see that you have many units over here where the line bays are here, the transformer bays, you can see the transformer bays going all the way out to meet the transformer outdoor. So this technology actually came very useful to TCN because this community here where this substation is situated is actually already developed. So this technology came handy because it occupies very little amount of space.
We will continue to explore the ongoing power transmission projects under the Abuja Ring project. In the previous episodes, we had a tour of the newly completed 132-33 kV Kuje transmission substation, and we took you to the 330-132 kV Lubwe West main substation. Still to come in subsequent editions are the 330-132 kV Waru substation and the 132-33 kV Wumba substation in Abuja. The interview segment comes up right after this break. Please stay with us.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, transmits bulk electricity from power generating companies, GENCOs, distribution load centers of distribution companies, DISCOs, nationwide. At TCN, we transport bulk electricity at very high voltage to DISCOs, who now off-take it and distributes it directly to electricity customers nationwide. TCN does not generate electricity. We transport the quantum of power generated to distribution load centers. TCN does not distribute electricity directly to electricity consumers. Our job stops where that of the DISCOs begin. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
Welcome to the interview segment of the Power Circuit. Joining us today is Engineer Oluwabenga Ajiboye, Executive Director of the Transmission Service Provider (TSP) at the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN). In this segment, he sheds light on the processes involved in replacing components of power transmission lines and carrying out maintenance on live transmission infrastructure across Nigeria. TCN is working on the 330 kV Omotosho to Ikeja West transmission line. What was the purpose of that exercise?
Formerly, we have optic fiber on those lines. They are outdated and they require replacement. So we are replacing them with superior material, OPGW, to be able to carry more traffic for communication. We have been battling with the issue of SCADA to make all substation, generation substation, all on the network visible to the NCC, that is National Control Center, which belongs to NISO. That is the major purpose of that OPGW that we are installing. So that at real time, you can see whatever that is happening anywhere on the grid that is connected to Nigerian grid.
What process does TCN deploy to work on an active power transmission line?
There are two ways to it. We have what we call lifeline deployment and code line. Lifeline deployment is a bit cumbersome, dangerous. No matter we try to make it safe, it's open to risk. And when we are dealing with 330 kV, what will it cost us to work on code line and minimize time? Because by the time you go live, the hours you will need to work to prepare before you do the work is much. You might end up working for 4 to 5 hours in a day. But if you go on code, you can work successfully, as we have stipulated at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can work for as much as that before we surrender.
How does working on a cold line affect electricity supply from distribution companies to consumers?
When we say outage, everybody might not have light, or the quantity of the supply will be reduced. And when we are talking of this quantity of supply, from the planning we did with the operators, with the NISO, that is our quasi-regulator, and with the NAC, the main regulator, we planned for this long time ago. We have different routes taking energy to Lagos. We have from Ayede, which is Ibadan, to Olorun-Sogo. From Olorun-Sogo, we have also Ikeja West. Again, we have from Osogbo to Ikeja West in Ayobo. The same we have from Egbe back to Ikeja West. We have from Egbe also to Okearo to Ikeja West. So, and we have 3 or 4 power stations along these axes. What we do and what the planner did was to increase the generation capacity of those, to ask them to come up with more power. Like Egbe, we asked Egbe to come up to more megawatts. If they have been on 500 to 600, as at this morning, they went to about 743 megawatts. Olorun-Sogo went to about 254 megawatts. Paras Energy is on 109 megawatts. Taupes, a small generator, is about 18.9 megawatts. And you can see that we build more energy. We have axes that we take energy from Benin, Iobo, to Osogbo. Then Osogbo will connect to Lagos. So these are the contingencies we have made. We have been on this job and planning for months. We consulted them, we called them for meeting, the regulator called all of us together, we discussed this issue.
How can bulk power disruption be completely avoided during transmission line maintenance?
We don't have a complete ring network in Nigeria. That is, where I have more than one line linking a particular area. We are already planning it. We know there is a deficit in the network. Like I'm talking to you now, a project is ongoing between Omotosho and Epe to Lekki. It's already conceived long time ago. Because of the paucity of funds, we are unable to move at the space and the rate we want to move. When we have a complete ring network, we will be able to minimize it. But I've told you, we will be able to do it without even taking outage from anybody. You will not know that we took out that line. But presently, as we have it, the situation is that we need to drop load because of exigency of the grid in case anything happens during this work. That is why you feel this minimal impact.
Thank you for your time. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, remains committed to serving you better. The efforts go beyond building power transmission substations. They are also focused on modernizing transmission lines across the country. With your support for TCN's ongoing transmission system expansion, we can achieve a more reliable and efficient power supply together. Here's a recap of the stories we shared with you. TCN Lagos region held a sensitization program to address vandalism and encroachment on transmission line infrastructure. Dawaki transmission substation has significantly boosted bulk electricity supply in Abuja. In our interview segment, Engineer Oluwagbemga Ajiboye, Executive Director of Transmission Service Provider TSP at TCN, explained the procedures for replacing components of transmission lines and conducting maintenance on active lines. TCN is pleased to bring you editions of the power circuits designed to deepen your understanding of Nigeria's power sector. We urge you to support TCN by staying vigilant against vandalism of power transmission lines, towers, and substations in your locality. Report any suspicious activity to TCN officials or security operatives near you. Thank you for your time. I am Amara Agugesi. See you next week.